So today we're going to look at division. So it shouldn't be anything new, hopefully. It's just making sure the signs. Like we did the multiplication test. I didn't use big numbers, right? My goal is not can you multiply, is can you do the signs properly? Like two negatives make a positive. That's what I'm looking for. Can you understand that, right? So division, just the reverse of multiplication. Now, sometimes if you look at it pictorially, it'll get a little confusing. So if you go 8 divided by 2, what does that mean? It means it equals 4, right? And you can represent it in picture in two ways. You can say, hey, take 8 and put them in groups of 2, and how many groups do you have? 4, right? Or the way my mind works is, hey, you take 8 and you put them in 2 equal groups. 1, 2, and how many are in each group? 4. So division can work both ways, right? So let's look at example 1 here. Right? We go negative 10 divided by negative 5. So we have our 10 dots here. Now, can you tell me if the final answer is going to be negative or positive? What can you tell me? Lachlan?
It's going to be positive.
Yeah. Right? 2 negatives make a positive. Now, so for negative 10 divided by 5, we can put them into 5 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you say, hey, how many are in each group? 2. So the answer is positive 2. All right? Or you go, I don't know, my mind always thinks reverse multiplication. I go, what's 5 times what equals 10? Right? That's the way I like to think. Okay, how about the next one? Right? How many groups should we have?
3 groups of.
Oh.
Or, well, okay.
So we're dividing by 4, so we should have 4
groups of 3.
4 groups of 3.
Okay, well I know it.
Right?
That's a negative.
4 groups of 3. That's what it means. And a negative and a positive make a negative. Okay? I'm not going to ask you to do this on a test, but on like assignment questions, we sort of go through this way. Yes, no.
Are the signs like the same as
Multiplication?
Yeah.
Yes. And I think, mention that on the second page. Okay. Another way of looking at a division statement is just look at the number line. And we sort of did the number line with multiplication. The way it works is you look at the entire arrow and you go, what does the entire arrow equal? 10? Right? And how many groups is that arrow broken into?
Wait, how is it 10?
It goes from 0?
To 12.
No, it goes to 10. No. Other side of the page, Lachlan. Look at the screen. Other side of the page, bottom left.
Oh.
All right.
My bad.
Yeah. So there you go. And this arrow is broken into 2 pieces. So we're dividing it into 2 pieces. And how long is each piece? 5. Or -5 in length. Right? So that's a division statement on a number line. Okay? And what would, on example 3 over here, what would our division statement be? Right? So where does the arrow point to?
It's like 12.
It points to 12. I heard Noah. Yeah. And
3 groups of 4, or 4 groups of 3.
right.
I have, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
So we're dividing by how much? How many sections do we see here?
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And how long is each section? 3, right? Goes 1, 2, 3. Right? All right. Next one. So,
It's the same one as the other one.
Mm.
Or same one as.
oh, I forgot to change the numbers around. No, it isn't. Oh, yes, it is. How about I change this? How about I go like this? I'm gonna get you guys to draw new lines on. Put a line at 8, put a line at 6, and we'll cross out that line that was there. And put a line at 4 and a line at 2. Let's make a new question out of this. And I'm gonna change that to a black pen there. So this doesn't exist. All right, let's make a new question out of this one.
Okay.
Yes, Alana?
10 divided by 4.
Yeah, 10 or negative 10 to be more specific, because it points to negative 10. And we have 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, no,
Yeah.
4, 5 sections.
No, but we crossed out the 0, right?
No. That's where it starts. So it's 5 sections, right? So it'd be 10 divided by 5. And then you go, how long is each section?
They're too long.
Too long. And they're pointing in the next negative direction, so negative 2, right? That's it. All right. So we're not going to do too much on that. We're going to go straight to the way you're used to dividing. I just wanted to show you the picture symbols because they do show up in textbooks. They do show up in other things. Okay. So just like,
Wait, is it the part with the sign though? Is the next page?
yep. So flip the page over. Yeah. Okay. So just like multiplying, if you have 2 positives, it's going to be a positive. If you're dividing a positive and a negative, it will be a negative. If you have a negative and a positive, it will be a negative. And if you have 2 negatives, it will be a positive. And just like multiplication, if the 2 signs are the same,
You
Then-
just ripped us off.
what do you mean I ripped you off?
It's the same thing.
Except
from
for it's
yesterday,
division,
except
yeah.
You just took out the multiplication mark.
And I threw in a division symbol. I'm glad you see the same thing, because division is just the reverse of multiplication, and it should be the same thing, right? Right? Because one's going forward, one's going reverse, one's the opposite operation, right? So 2 signs are different, then negative. Okay. Let's look at example 4. A. Is it positive or is it negative?
It's negative.
Right? If a positive and negative, the signs are different.
And it's negative 2.
So then you go 12 divided by 6. Now if you can't do this quickly in your head, use the multiplication chart. Right? Do you guys know how to use a multiplication chart to do division?
Yep.
Right? So you use that to help you. Okay. B, positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative.
5.
5. Excellent. Okay, do C, D, E, and F. No, just go do C and D together, and then we'll do E and F together.
Yeah, how do you do 60 divided by 15? You go 50.
I don't think it takes that much time. Okay, so first one, C there, is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. 2 negative signs make a positive.
Then positive 8.
We have 40 divided by 5, positive 8, right? This is where, with division, if you know your multiplications, these things come so much easier. Like 5 times what is equal to 40, right? It just comes a little bit faster. Now, Noah, was helping somebody else out here with a 15, and he goes, how many times does 15 go into 60? And what did you say, Noah? 4, right? So it goes in 4 times, and then would it be positive or would it be negative?
It'd be negative.
All right. Now, E,
They're both 0.
we're dividing by 0. So using the same time example as before, how many times does 15 go into 60? 4 times. How many times does 0 go into 6?
0 times.
No, it can't. 0 times what equals 6? There's nothing. So, no.
6. 0 times 6.
But 6 divided by 6 is 1.
Wait, but wouldn't it be infinity?
Not possible. You can never divide by 0.
Okay, well, that's what I meant.
So could you just say?
See, if you have 6 things, how do you put into groups of 0? You just can't do it.
Could you just say 0
That's
then? It's
impossible.
kind of confusing.
It isn't 0.
0 is not a.
Now,
Hold on.
Because it's neither a negative or a positive, so 0 would have to have its own category.
it's not, but you can't divide it. Put it into your calculator. See what your calculator does, Lachlan.
It
Alright,
takes itself.
It does. It goes, I cannot compute.
Error.
6
Error.
Yeah.
by 0.
Now,
8 doesn't show up.
6
Arrow 0.
divided by 0.
Cannot divide by
Equals
0.
error.
Just tell me
Yeah.
cannot divide by 0.
So that's what we write down.
yeah.
What are we supposed to
No, you wrote down not possible.
Cannot divide by 0.
Or your picture of your head blowing up.
Error.
Okay.
Mine says cannot divide by 0.
Yeah, because you can't. But you can't break 6 up into 0 groups. However, 0 divided by 10 is 0.
What?
What?
Isn't fair. Hold up.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Uh,
How many, if you have 0 things and you want to put them in 10 groups, how many are in each group?
Oh my
0.
God.
All right?
Oh, because 0 is an even number.
No, it has nothing to do with even or odd.
Zero's first.
0's first.
I mean, by 0.
So this looks a little bit easier. I like it if you look at it as a fraction. Now remember, division is just a fraction statement like this. So this first question looks like this. The second one looks like this. If the 0's on the bottom, not possible. If the 0's on the top, it's equal to 0. Right? Look for where the 0 is. Right? Where is the 0? Here or here? Yes,
So
no.
if it was 0 divided by 6, would that be 0 then?
Yes. 0 divided by any number would be 0.
but something divided by 0 won't be.
Something about 6 is. Sounds like 0.
Yeah. Okay.
6 is 0.
Word problem. Okay. So one night in Great Old Mission here, the temperature was falling by 2 degrees Celsius each hour. How many hours did it take for the temperature to drop to
5.
10 degrees altogether?
5.
So how did you do that? No, Lachlan?
I just thought of it as multiplication, but I guess if you're
Yeah.
dividing it,
Oh, you can think of it as multiplication. So
I just went like 5 times 10, or like 5 times 2 equals 10.
yeah.
So then the missing factor is obviously 2.
Yeah. So, in other words, 2 times blank is equal to 10.
Yeah.
So that has to be a 5. Yes, Gordon.
Wait, what was it to start with? What was the temperature to start with?
It doesn't matter. It's just saying that it dropped by 10 degrees. So how many, if it's dropping 2 hours, 2 degrees per hour, so you can think of it like this. In the first hour, that's horrible writing. Let me erase that. So in the first hour, the temperature went down by 2 degrees. In the second hour, it went down to -4. In the third hour, it went down by another 2 degrees to -6. In the fourth hour, it went down by another 2 degrees. It was at -8. In the fifth hour, it went down by another 2 degrees. It's -10. So it fell by 10 degrees. It took 5 hours for that to happen, right? You can do it that way, or you can do it by multiplication, or you can say, hey, 10 divided by 2.
How could you write that in a division thing?
You're like a half a second ahead of me in wavelengths here, right? Or you can go, hey, 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5, all right? So then you give it a little statement. How many hours? It took 5 hours for the temperature to drop. Okay. Okay.
How do we figure out which number goes on the top and which goes on the bottom?
Well, you have to put it into the context of the question. So each question is slightly different, right? So you're trying to find it how many groups of 2. Sure, right? How many times does a 2 go into 10? So that's why that's the one that goes on the bottom.
Okay.
All right. Okay. The next one. We have the deepest record dive is 500 meters for a emperor penguin and 2,000 meters for a sperm whale. How many times as deep does a sperm whale dive compared to a penguin? So we have some water here, and the sperm whale goes down 2,000, and the penguin only goes down 500. So how much longer, or deeper? Gordon?
3.
Right? So how did you come up with 3?
Well, there's 5, it goes 500, 1,000.
Yeah?
Then 1,500.
Yeah.
Then 2,000. So it's 3 more.
No, but you got to include the first group there.
Oh.
So it's, yeah, so it would be, yeah, good logic, 500. This is what Gordon said, 1,500, 2,000. So that's 4 times, right? Or you could do it as a division statement. Or you go,
Could you do it as multiplication?
yeah.
Division, I did 20.
So if you want to do it, let's do it as multiplication first.
Oh, that's what I did wrong.
500 times what is equal to
Oh,
2,000?
Yeah.
so 5, it's basically just 5 times what equals 2.
Yeah. Oh, no, 5,
Oh,
20. 5 times what equals, right? Or as a division statement, it'd be 200 divided by, oops, not 400, 500. You want to know how many times does 500 go into 2,000? In each case, it equals 4. Equals 4. Right? That's it. Okay, how about we take a 15-minute break?
are we done?
We'll do some homework after